Enugu woke up slowly that Saturday, like a radio dial turning from static to music. The sun was soft over Independence Layout, and the Ogba sellers on the corner already had steam rising from their coolers. In Ogbaifin Kem's wide family compound, with its polished interlocking stones and hibiscus hedges, the front gate slid open and closed as cousins arrived for the monthly kindred meeting. People came in nice weekend clothes, men in clean Isiagu tops with fitted trousers, women in chic Ankara dresses and neat wigs or natural hair puffed into crowns. There was laughter, then the careful hush people keep for elders, and there was the sound of bottles clinking because someone brought cartons of malt and water. A few boys set up plastic canopies and those familiar blue and white chairs you see at every gathering. On the veranda, a big brown speaker waited for the MC to remember the Bluetooth code. Otutu amanani, voices greeted as Ogbaifimkem stepped out in a navy Isiagu with tiny golden lions. He was tall in the quiet way, with a red okpu cap sitting just right on grey hair. He lifted his phone briefly, checking messages before sliding it into his pocket. Kedu, he answered, eyes smiling. People nodded with respect. The breeze carried hints of suya spice from a kiosk down the road. In the middle of this picture walked our main girl, Amaka. 23, new graduate, flexible brain full of big plans and untested pride. She wore a fitted mint Ankara dress, simple gold beads and white sneakers because she liked to move. Her natural hair was braided and pinned into a neat bun. She held her phone like another hand, not because she was rude, but because her small catering business, Ama's Bowls, lived there. Orders on WhatsApp, payments on bank apps, flyers on Instagram. She greeted everyone with light bows and a soft daolu, then hugged her widowed mother, Mama Obi, who had eyes that smiled first before the mouth remembered to follow. Amaka, come sit near me, said her auntie, Ngozi, patting a chair. Jisi ken wanyoma. Keep being strong, good woman. The plastic table in front of them had gala sticks, ground nuts, and sweating bottles of malt. Someone pressed play, and mid-tempo high life floated out like a friend who always knows the right time to speak. The MC cleared his throat. My people, we gather to plan the May Youth Festival. Enugu Youth and Culture Festival will host visitors from Auka, Abakaliki, even Aba. Our kindred must contribute. We must also nominate a youth coordinator who will lead the task. Heads turned naturally to Amaka. She had ideas and energy. She posted designs online. She spoke well at church. Everyone expected her to stand. But sitting 2 chairs away was Chisom, 25, the kind of young man uncles call promising. His beard was carefully shaped. His Isiagu had that rich red that photographs love, and a stainless watch flashed when he lifted his hand to greet people. He liked Amaka's fire, and she liked his steadiness. They weren't a couple, but people used their eyes to imagine things for them. The MC continued. We need a youth coordinator who can convince sponsors, organize vendors, and ensure the children's marching band arrives on time with uniforms, posters, publicity, and permissions from the council. Who will carry this challenge? Chairs creaked. Auntie Ngozi leaned toward Amaka. Pico, say something, she whispered. You know these things. Don't fear. God is with you. Amaka's heart trembled with hunger and doubt. She had built Ama's Bowls from a small WhatsApp status into real orders. She had delivered perfect cups to offices, made tiny profits, and tweeted about better kitchens for small businesses. But leading the Kindred's festival meant dealing with elders who preferred paper letters, council officers who loved stamps, and uncles who respected you only after you served them malt and listened like your ears were bowls. Could she do it? Yes. Would they take her seriously? Maybe. Did she want to try? She stared at the speaker, where a tiny blue light blinked bravely to say, "I'm connected." Before she spoke, Elder Mazioke, one of the oldest men present, raised his walking stick gently and cleared his throat. He wore a cream-colored senator suit with an old watch that he checked more often than necessary. "My children," he said in a slow voice that felt like Sunday, "I have a story for you before you choose your leader. This is not to delay you. It is to guard your feet so you don't enter pit when you see shadow." Everyone quieted. Even the babies looked up the way babies look when silence changes flavor. In our village years ago, the youth were to build a borehole. They chose a leader because she was sharp with mouth and quick with phone. She had ideas like flood. She did not greet elders well. She did not ask questions the way you enter a house by knocking first. She thought speed is the same thing as wisdom. In the end, donors stopped picking calls, the land officer refused stamp, and the borehole never came. Pride carried the girl like Okada without brakes. He paused to sip water. People nodded softly. Some checked their phones, pretending to silence them, but actually reading messages. The elder lifted his chin. "The challenge before you is sweet like orange, but you must peel with patience. Choose someone who can walk both ways. Greet elders with Otutu Oma Nani and still talk to sponsors on email. Choose someone who can carry the old and the new together like two baskets balanced on one head. If you choose otherwise, Chineke, prepare for learning by suffering." The MC smiled diplomatically. "Darling sir, wisdom is sweet. Now, nominations." Chisom raised his hand. "Let Amaka lead," he said, voice warm. "She knows media. She knows food vendors. She can bring young people. I will support with logistics, vans, and fuel vouchers." A ripple of approval went round the canopy. Mama Obi pressed Amaka's hand. "Go on," she whispered. "Speak with your lungs, but keep your feet on ground." Amaka stood, heart beating fast but face calm. She bowed slightly to the elders. "Dalu, my fathers and mothers," she began. "I'm honored. I can help us host a festival that shows who we are. Modern, disciplined, joyful, generous. We'll register vendors properly, schedule the marching band, and design digital posters. We'll also visit the council office with formal letters and respect. We will do all with transparency so everybody can see the budget and the result. If you give me this, I promise to carry everyone along." Elder Oke said, eyes narrowed but kind. Words sweet like honey. Can you swallow bitter when government delays you? Can you bow to process when your head wants speed? Can you listen when old voice says, "This is the road," even when Google Maps shouts another direction? Amaka met his gaze. "Sir, I can. Biko, test me and see." Laughter moved through the chairs like wind. The MC put it to a vote. Hands went up like birds rising from a tree, and it was done. Amaka became youth coordinator for the Enugu Youth and Cultural Festival. Photos were taken, first with the elders, then with the women, then with the men, then with everyone, because someone shouted, "Group selfie." Chisom's friend, Kamsi, flew a small drone just high enough to make the compound look like a polished postcard. After the meeting, Amaka sat with Chisom by the parked vans. The Onyema Korea logo looked proud in its fresh paint. "Congrats," he said, handing her a cold malt. She took a long sip and wiped her lip with the back of her hand like a child who refuses to be cute. "Thank you, but I'm afraid, Sha." "Fear is fine," he said. "Just don't let it be driver. Let it sit at the back." She smiled. "You and your coats." My mother and also Instagram. They laughed. Behind them, aunties haggled softly about Ankara prices and who could get wholesale from Ogbete Main Market. Two uncles argued politics like men comparing scars. A small boy ran after the drone's shadow. Then Elder Oke's voice floated from behind them. Amaka, he called gently. She turned. He was closer than she expected, walking stick tapping in wise rhythm. Come, Noam, let me give you your first test. Her heart bounced. She stood. Yes, sir. In 3 days, go to the community hall in Nike. The council secretary, Madam Ebere, is traveling on Thursday. If you don't meet her by Wednesday afternoon with your letter, you will chase her for 2 weeks. The hall is sacred for this festival. Without it, you will scatter. This is the challenge. Prepare your letter, gather your team, and be in her office by 2 p.m. Wednesday. No stories. No, my printer failed. No, rain fell. Do you accept? Amaka swallowed. I accept. Good, he said, eyes twinkling. And wear something respectable, not only Instagram cloth. Remember to greet her well. Ututu oma, madam. Biko, aina letagi. If you rush, you will miss the step. If you delay, door will close. He tapped her shoulder with a soft blessing. Go now. Plan. This is how journeys begin, not with big speeches, but with small deadlines. As he walked away, Amaka felt the weight of the festival shift from her shoulders into her bones, where responsibility becomes strength. She turned to Chisom. I have to move fast. He stood with her. I'm with you. Tomorrow morning, I'll drive you to the printer in New Haven. Reliable man. Ink never fades. Dalu, and she meant it. The sun climbed higher. The compound emptied slowly, and the blue and white chairs stayed behind like sleepy guards. In the quiet that followed, a pigeon landed on the interlocking stones and looked around as if to say, Are you ready? Because the challenge had been given, and the journey, though short on the map, would test not only Amaka's speed, but her balance. Between new and old, between pride and patience, between the quick answer and the true solution. She breathed in, took out her notebook, and began to list what must be done before Wednesday at 2 p.m. Each bullet a small promise to herself and to the people who had trusted her name. Chineke, she whispered with half a smile, help me carry this well. Then she began. Morning met Amaka with knock of light on the curtains. Roosters argued with the keke horn outside. She whispered, Talo, Chineke, tied her hair scarf, and sat up. Wednesday, 2 p.m. glowed in her mind like a sticker she could not peel off. In the kitchen, Mama Obi stirred ogi while her phone played a church choir. Kidu, Nuam, she asked. I'm fine, Amaka said. Today is for letters, budgets, and calls. Eat first, Mama Obi replied, sliding a bowl toward her. Onye nagbauso nefu nada nala. They ate, hugged, and moved to their tasks. At 9 a.m., Chisam's van rolled to the gate. He wore a crisp white shirt and trustworthy sneakers. Otutuoma, he called. Ready? Always, Amaka said, tossing her laptop bag in. They drove into New Haven, past barbershops and electronics stalls. The printer shop was narrow, stacked with paper reams and a big machine that hummed. Mr. Kene wore a navy polo and glasses. Amaka, he said. Kedu? I'm good, she replied with a bow. Biko, I need letterheads and a clean print of this request to the council secretary, Madame Ebere. Coat of arms, our kindred logo, room for signatures. He clicked through her file. Good. he said, "but adjust your subject line. Request for booking of community hall, Enugu Youth and Culture Festival, and create a reference number. They love Trace." She smiled. "Thank you." An hour later, 5 crisp copies sat in a folder. The point of sale machine beeped. Outside, heat rolls like a careful hand. "Next?" Chisom asked. "Team," she said. "We need a circle that can run without noise." They met at a buka near the flyover where plantain fries scented the air. Plastic tables, water and coolers, a radio arguing football. 4 teammates arrived. Golsi, a designer. Madu, a calm law student. Ifeoma, numbers steady. And Damsi, the drone pilot. Amaka laid the letter and a checklist on the table. "Omonem," she said. "By Wednesday, 2 p.m., I must meet Madame Ebere with the letter, a budget, a sponsor one-pager, and a simple schedule. If we miss her, the hall slips away. I need you." Golsi tapped the paper. "I'll draft the one-pager. 2 colors, light Isiagu motif on the margin, QR code for payment." "Good," Amaka said. "Modern but respectful." Madu nodded. "I'll tighten the letter and confirm hours. Some offices close early." Ifeoma lifted a notebook. "I'll build the budget. Chairs, canopies, band transport, security, cleaners, publicity. 5% contingency." "Gamsi," Amaka asked. "I'll cut a 30-second sponsor video. Last year's photos, drone shots, kids practicing." They ordered jollof with fish, suya, and malt. Between mouthfuls, they set deadlines. Golsi by 5 p.m., Ifeoma by 7 p.m., Madu by 8 p.m., Gamsi by 9 p.m. Amaka would compile at night and schedule Tuesday calls. "Remember," she added, "we'll greet properly when we visit. Speed is good. We won't run past wisdom." "Kpam," Madu agreed. Afternoon slid by. Back home, Amaka worked at the dining table, WhatsApp bubbling. Golsi's design arrived sleek. Amaka sent 2 notes and a heart. Ifeoma's spreadsheet came tidy. Madu's edits sharpened courtesy. Gamsi's video link landed with done. By 10 p.m., the pack was complete. Letter, budget, one-pager, video link, and a short email beginning, "Good evening, Ma. Biko, find attached our request." She set alarms. Tuesday 8 a.m. follow-ups. Wednesday 11 a.m. leave. 1 p.m. recheck. Then an unknown number lit her screen. "Good evening. I am the secretary to Madame Ebere. Ensure you bring a stamped endorsement from your traditional ruler. Without it, she cannot process the hall." Amaka froze. No one had mentioned that stamp. She texted Madu. "Possible," he replied. "Some councils require the Eze or kindred head's endorsement. Better to get it." Her hands moved. She called the kindred secretary, Uncle Jude. He picked on the second ring. "Amaka, Kidu." "Uncle, Biko, we need Ogbuefi and Cam's endorsement letter by tomorrow. Can we see him early?" He said, "Tomorrow is clinic day, but if you come by 7 a.m., we'll catch him before he leaves. Draft the letter tonight. Bring 2 copies. I will carry the stamp." "Dalu," she breathed. She drafted at once, respectful, clear, short. 2 prints went into the folder that held her team's hope. Midnight hummed with mosquitoes testing the net. She washed her face, whispered, Chineke, Biko, and slept like a phone finally on charge. Dawn walked in early. At 6:40 a.m., she and Chisam reached Ogbuefin Cam's compound. Hibiscus glowed, interlocking stones were cool. Ututu Oma, Amaka greeted. Biko, we came to see Ogbuefi briefly. They waited on the veranda. The elder appeared in a gray senator with a travel bag, checked his phone, then looked up. Nwami, you came prepared. She bowed and offered the draft. Sir, the council requires your endorsement. He read slowly, nodded, signed, and passed it to Uncle Jude for stamping. The red mark landed with a neat thud. You are learning, he said. When the path bends, bend with it. Talu, nai, she whispered. Back in the van, Chisam exhaled. One more gate opened. Now to the council. We must be early. They threaded morning traffic, past students in uniforms, and a fuel queue curling like a snake. At 11:20 a.m., they parked near the council offices, a cream building with green trim and a fountain trying its best. Amaka checked the folder, letter, budget, one-pager, stamped endorsement, ID card, pen. She smoothed her Ankara jacket and adjusted her bun. Remember, Shisam said, fear sits at the back. Copy. She smiled. Inside, they greeted the receptionist, signed the visitor book, and sat under a framed photo of the governor. A clock ticked. A photocopier sang. The secretary finally beckoned. Madame will see you. Amaka stood, shoulders steady, heart grateful. Wednesday, 2 p.m. was no longer far. It was a doorway she could see and touch. She breathed in and reached for it.